The other Steve.
All right, we're good. All right, so I'd like to call the December Cemetery Commission meeting to order at 9:02 on the 12th. We never ended up with the minutes because we had typing issues and printer issues. Okay, good.
Sorry about that.
Oh, I was just too busy to do it at the last minute yesterday. So we'll cancel the first item and we'll move on to correspondence from Town Hall. Email from Jan Moore for the CPC meeting on the 5th.
Yep, so I went to the CPC meeting on the 5th to discuss both, and we'll just go through them one at a time. So the first one on their agenda was the North Harwich gravestone, and I made a little PowerPoint so you guys can see what I did for them.
Oh, back.
Yeah, so it's just talked about the gravestones. We have 16 foundations that need to be set, 7 gravestones that have clean breaks, 9 that have broken in 2 places, 4 that have broken in 3 places, 2 or 4 more pieces, and 5 that have pins that go into the monument that need to be removed. Once the pins are removed, then you can reset them. But the pins crack the memorial, so you got to take them out. So 62 monuments are going to be straightened in addition to all of those monuments. So we're asking for $37,000. If you look, I just did a couple just random stones. I did James Baker, William Ryder's, and then I listed all of the 62 stones that are leaning, and then talked about how many. We have 6 Revolutionary War soldiers in that cemetery. Then I have all the broken monuments broken down into what pieces they're in, and then we have support from the Historic Commission, the Cemetery Commission, local community members, and the Community Preservation. So I think that the meetings that I went to was the Historic Commission meeting on Wednesday, October 16th. They unanimously approved it, and I think this one will go through without any
Well, that'd be nice.
any issues whatsoever. So this one was good. And then the second application that I presented was the Trail and Boardwalk for the Cedar Swamps at Island Pond. I'm just going to go through quickly the presentation with you guys just so you know. So, as you know, it's part of the Marceline Arboretum area. And then we did conservation land management with the BSC group initially. They went in and checked for all of the different species of wildlife in there, all the different trees and the locations.
BSC is?
I don't know what their acronym is, but they're the ones who gave us the price quote too.
Okay.
Yeah. So we compiled. They compiled a list of existing conditions. They visited with flags to potential trail route, delineated the wetlands, and mapped the wetland delineation above. Prepare a site plan in preparation for notice of submission of the Conservation Commission. That is what they wanted to do for the next phase, which would put the walking trail in. And the walking trail, the raised platform would be handicap accessible. I went over where the parking would be. But as I was working along with Amy Uzowski, she thought that the trail system should go further to the north. And if you go to the proposed map area, that one, Cindy, I wanted it to come across initially, straight across right to the pond. She wants us to go further to the north where there's more cedar swamps, more cedars in that area. So that parcel right now has some title issues to it. So I talked to Joe Powers and I talked over to the assessing department. So they put it on article number 39 to clear the title at this year's town meeting. So that is an issue moving forward.
Is Amy thinking of eventually going around the pond or going around the north side of the pond with the trail? I mean, years down the road, like Cedar Swamp and Eastham?
Yeah, that's what the projection would be.
Well, so that's why I'm wondering if maybe being more north to kind of head that way is Maybe she might be right on that,
Yeah.
yeah. Even though it's more convenient to come out of the Marceline Trail.
Yeah.
And just walk across the road.
Right.
Such as it is. And
So we did go to the Conservation Commission. They approved it on Wednesday, October 16th. And then we went to the Recreation Commission and they approved it on October 22nd. And then I just included the letter from the Recreation Commission. And then this is part of the area where we would, where we were supposed to begin the trail, which would be where our parking area is. And it has a low in grade, the grading that goes down now because we go all the way over to the left. So it could be handicap accessible there for children to rent. So when I went to the meeting, we had.
Well, can't we also
Go ahead.
have parking? Couldn't we do parking on the dirt roadway?
So there's a little
Or is that
area,
to
but when he goes in there, if you go in, there's an existing roadway, which is I was told by Matthew that it was the oldest road in the town at the meeting. So I'm going to go over what, so Matt Sefton, is that how you say it?
Sefton.
Okay. So he came to the meeting and he had some concerns, and so didn't some of the commission, the CPC commissioners or committee members. They were concerned about the title not being cleared yet. They were also, Matt, if you look at the letter that I've included, I think, Cindy, you can skip the first part because that's some other thing he wanted to address. But if you go down to where it says ditto, he says, ditto, the elevation boardwalk, draft number, Article 21, proposed north of Island Pond, requires a schematic showing the location, should weigh in on the merits of this plan, take comments, and state recognize ownership of the land. And there is hunting in the area. He was concerned about the hunting as well. But there's also hunting in Bell's Neck, and that's a walkable trail system that people use as well.
We don't need to go down that road again.
Yeah. So then he's just concerned about the cost, the $59,000 could be better spent somewhere else. And he does bring up that an engineer detailed plans should be better, which would be something we would have already done if Paul Sweetser was still our town engineer. As you know, we do not have a town engineer. And so this is the services we were going to go out for this. But that being said, with the clouded title currently, right? I don't know if we should postpone this article till next year and get the title cleared. And then, they had a couple other things. Kathy on the commission wanted to know if we had, how many people were in support of this project. So I said, we do have the local school district that is, and so we might want to get together a petition to get people to sign who would be interested in this. There's also a couple people over here at the community center that said that they would also help with petitions to move forward. I just don't think at this point, I hate to go to town meeting and have it so many issues that they wanted us to clarify before we went to town meeting. I agree with some of the things that arose at the meeting. So I feel like maybe we could postpone this article till next year. I mean, we got a lot going on anyway. So I don't know what your feelings are on that or how you feel about that. But I could work with them on the title research. As you know, I've cleared a lot of title in my time. So I could help her. I've already pulled a whole bunch of deeds with a lot of names and try to get as much as I can so I can hand it over to them, before town meeting anyways.
I think it's a good idea to postpone it and get all the information together.
Yeah, I would rather it be.
But still clear the title.
Clear the title this town meeting and then maybe bring it back next town meeting. And that way we'll have.
And this is joint with conservation, right? So it's
not so
Amy, just us.
Amy Uzowski has been helping me with this project, and she has another project she's doing this year as well. So her focus is really on the one that she started. I mean, she does give me assistance, and I did reach out to Mike Locke as well on this. he's the one who pointed me in the direction about getting grants, which I still am researching getting grants. If we do get all of our stuff together, and there is a grant I can apply for to do all the engineering study, we could do that separate from town meeting and have that all finished before. And there is also 3 different park grants that we could apply for to pay for the entire thing. I know that I think the town of Yarmouth got like $1 million on one of the park grants to do the park that's across from Captain Parker's.
And does HCT have any interest in this?
Well, they have like 3 other projects going on, and they have an article on town meeting this year in Island Pond as well, working with Matt, is selling some of his land that kind of is close to this property. So they know of this area. He's just got his own projects going on right now, but maybe next year there would be more time to collaborate with a couple other people and bring them in and make it a better article to move forward. I just feel like right now
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, we shouldn't be in conflict with them, and they
Yeah,
should not be in conflict with us.
Yeah, and
because it's the same goal.
Right. Yeah, I don't want the project to go away. I love this project, and I think it's going to be.
Hi, Steve.
Oh, it's this meeting room.
You're live, Steve.
Yeah, okay. So do you want to make a motion, Cindy, or?
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we postpone this till next week when we
Okay.
get all together.
Yeah, I'll second that. Makes it unanimous.
And I'll send an email over to the CPC and to Matt and to Amy, and probably over to HCT, to Mike.
Yeah, I mean, I think
just to let them all
the
know.
3 of us should definitely be on
Right.
the same page, and focused on it, whether it times out with HCT or Amy but I
Yep.
think if all 3 are pushing in the right direction, I think that'll be a better way
Okay.
to go. Any other correspondence or town hall issues?
No, but we have other correspondence here. I just want
Well, isn't that part of the walkway?
Yeah, well, that's, on the next. So should we do the walkway first, or this is real quick, Steve? So this is, you guys all have I tried to group them together for you guys so that we could just flip and go. So we had the dedication and the groundbreaking of the walkway, which was very cold that day, if I remember correctly. So it went really well. They did a nice article in the Chronicle, and I went down and took some initial pictures of the DPW. Did an amazing job of putting in the the pathway for. And Cindy, as you can see how it dead ends on the second photo.
Yeah.
So if you go through all of those, that's the way it was last week. The last page of it.
Well, do you have the new ones? The new pics?
No, the last page of this packet. Yeah, and I'm going to show you the new packets. So this is the new one that was taken this morning. So Lawrence Lynch should be done on Friday with this walkway, which is amazing. I am beyond thrilled with how it's coming out. So I love the curvatures of the roads. The pathway. I just think it just looks amazing. The one thing that we really need to discuss real quickly is there is to be a step as you come off of the circle onto the walkway. We discussed 2 different things. We could either do the sale or Town of Harwich established in. So Tom Bloop gave us this quote. It is, he recommended we go with the 8-inch one, which was $2,200. That would be the width, the depth of it, and that would be what they're pouring. That's how deep this part is 8 inches. We could go to 6 inches, but you only save $200. It's just, not that it's going to crack with the 2 inches, but
How wide's the walkway gonna be?
The walkway is,
It's poured? 8?
it's gonna be, I think it is 6 feet. If we go with the 8 feet, he was gonna taper the corner into it. I don't know what you want
No,
to
how
know.
wide is that? Between the edges?
I believe it is 6 feet. Do you want me to, oh, I don't have my phone. I was gonna say I could call Jimmy, you go measure it for sure.
Okay.
So, the shipping of it is $129, and then we just have to decide what we want to do. If we want to do lettering, the town is established, or just the sale. The sale he already has,
Yes.
because the fire department did the sale on their little memorial when they did the.
Well, I think, since this is just my opinion, seal, established,
Well, it says on the sale. It says on the sale.
Oh, it does?
Established. Everything's on the sale. So if you do the sale, you don't have to do any lettering. If you want to just do lettering,
This is at the beginning of it, is that correct?
yeah.
so this would be like the first step.
So if you do the sale of the town of Harwich, you can either do it 10 inches for $350 or 14 inches for $500.
And what does the seal say?
The sale
Founded?
isn't it on somewhere? No, I don't have any, not one thing. You want me to go get it? I can go get it. There you
No, I'll
go.
just pull it up here. Oh, by the way, the BCG is Build, Support, Connect. The group.
Oh.
That's what it stands for. Where would we be without the internet?
Could I suggest that maybe we table this for the moment, so we can get to Steve?
Yep.
And come back on it, just because we need to decide on that and the end of it also, which may take quite a bit of time to.
Okay.
Is
that okay?
that what the fire department used?
Yeah, but in like this version.
But it says the seal of the town of Harwich?
Yep, I think so. Well, I don't.
Yeah.
Now I don't know.
Let's make sure.
Yeah.
So maybe you know what? We could
So
go and
the-
want to do a road trip. Can you guys have time today?
Yes.
Where are we talking about?
We could go over and look at their sale and then go up to the walkway
We could just call and ask them.
to take a picture.
That's possible.
Where is this?
It's right at the police and fire department.
I was just there.
It's in the ground, you know, where the memorial.
Yeah, in between
Yeah.
the Ranio and,
It's inlaid in the ground.
yeah, we should, well, do we have to vote on this right now?
No. But we're
right,
gonna
so-
need to do it soon because
So I say we
right
need,
now there's a space that's gonna be left after they
Right.
finish the walkway and we want it in sooner
well, is
than
Tommy
later.
gonna do this in his office or is he gonna do this on site?
Well, he can get this delivered and then he will do this part at his office and then he'll drop it in. I just don't want it to wait all winter, you know what I mean?
Right.
Right, so if we're voting on what it's gonna say,
Yeah. I mean,
because this is so permanent, I
Yeah.
mean, I would really like to get Steve's opinion on it,
okay,
you know?
Good idea, too.
all right.
I mean, this is forever and ever amen,
Yeah.
you know, so, so we might as well make sure we're all together on it.
Okay,
Yeah.
And I'd kind of like to see it. I don't like the fact that it says the seal of the town of Harwich, but that's just me, you know. And I was always pondering that it's when we were founded versus established, when Harwich was settled versus
so
established.
you could do founded in the date on here and then established.
Yeah,
the
I
other
mean,
side.
so that's what I mean, there's just stuff
Yeah.
to, since it is a historical
Yeah,
walkway, and we're big on that, you know, for education purposes and stuff for the kids in the future.
With your war veterans that fought in battles, while the town was founded versus established?
Well, the founded part would be
No.
like
The Revolutionary.
just post Plymouth.
Post.
Post, I mean, it's very immediately
16
after.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1625,
And
1630.
when was it established?
I should know this, but I don't, because I'm a wash ashore. We were incorporated in
It's
that's
getting more involved.
Yeah, it was in the
In-
1600s.
let's see, the seal was adopted in 1897. Oh, we were incorporated in 1694.
So
Yeah.
the incorporation is when
When it became a town. A
When it
bunch of
became
people got
town.
together and had a meeting and said, we are going to call ourselves Harwich. But we know we can figure out when the first settlers were here.
Yeah.
Not that it's a big
Yeah.
difference, but I don't know, from historical, I just think we should discuss this. But getting back to the stone itself, bigger is better.
Yeah.
So personally, I move that we take the 8-inch thick stone for durability,
Yeah.
and because of what's going to be on the stone, even if it was just the seal, so it's visible to
Yeah.
those of us with fading eyesight, I vote for the bigger stone. So that would be the 8-inch, 6 foot by,
Yeah. 1 by 6.
right. And as long as that is going to fit inside the barrier.
It will.
Otherwise,
Yeah.
Tommy has to create something to frame it. In other words, if the walkway is 6 and we put a 5.5 foot in, we got 3 inches on either side we got to do something with. Maybe concrete, but that could look yuck.
So Cindy, you want to just second that, and then we can decide what goes on it after? Because that way you can at least order it.
All right, so that's unanimous. You're okay with that?
Yes.
All right, so we're unanimous on the size of the stone to purchase, and Tommy can get on that. And at the January meeting, we will, a primary item at the meeting is to decide on what goes on the stone, so it can hopefully go in sometime in January when it works out for Tommy.
Okay.
And in the meantime, we can go look at the fire department, the seal down there at some point.
Okay.
Or I'll go down and take a picture and I'll send it to everybody, just,
That sounds good.
All right.
or we amend it slightly. If there's, say, the seal of, well, okay. But, do we care about the date for when the seal was created in 1690?
No.
Well, that's got nothing to do with the price of beans in Alaska. Okay,
All right.
so that's good. So continuing on with the Walk of Remembrance, we recognize Steve. Thanks for coming. I see a thumb drive there. I don't know what we can do with your thumb drive, though.
We can't, but I do have it downloaded on my phone. So there's a little video of what the 3D rendering will look like. However, it is not of this particular walkway.
Well, can that go on my laptop?
Absolutely.
It's only going to save a couple of inches here because it's.
Right. So
Here, we'll put it over here.
great.
Do you want me to give this one to Cindy?
And we will put, you just open up
Yeah.
To demo. It's on the Lexus thumb drive.
Stop it. You want to clean, stop it, and where to go? Where does it not see it? Oh, here it is.
So I think the top item should be the demo. No, it's
3D rendering example.
Let's go down. Let's go down to a demo. Should be under D. There it is, demo one memorial. Okay,
Is there music?
No. So this is the kind of animation that we can provide so that it goes on the website, and we can also do a print of it, so that you have that as a static image that you can use for presentations as well.
It just X that out, see that antivirus update.
She's probably like, what is this?
So here is you can see the movement. And there's a 3D perspective. We even have smoke.
Cool, we're getting a fire pit?
So this is the way a 3D rendering goes.
Yeah,
We will find which of the images is the best static image and print that out 2 or 3 feet wide, and you'll be able to put it on some poster board. We can do that for you. So,
but yeah, that's what we were talking about, being able to like fly down the walkway and sort of see the monuments or things that could be monuments.
right.
Or, yeah.
And this is like the.
I gave him.
You gave him.
Thank you.
So it's $4,500 to get it done. It's not very expensive. And, you know, I want to get some other drone images. We're going to have to do hand coloring on it in order to generate out, especially this time of year, the backgrounds that are properly planted with the right kinds of plant life, and we want to get an image of the composite walkway or some sort of sample of that so we can replicate that. And any of the other spots along it, we can discuss at meetings or discuss with Robin, and we can, you know, talk about exactly what we want to see on that walkway. But we can create the movement, the 3D rendering. It's not rocket science anymore. It's just work.
So the walkway will be finished by Friday, completely.
So you can get your photos Friday.
Friday, the walkway's almost done.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So it's
The composite.
So the
Now the
walkway is
actual-
dug, lined, and
Yeah.
now it's just
It's being
pour and
poured right
dry.
now.
They're pouring the walkway.
right now.
Is there going to be any brickwork done around it?
No.
None.
Now they're
That's
gonna.
where we had to cut back.
Yeah. So it's just gonna be exposed aggregate, the
Yeah.
whole length of it, and then we just talked about what's gonna happen right at we won't have that done. If you wanted to do a drone flyover, but you could do
I've got the drone flyovers of approximately that space, but we can do another one. That's not even.
I mean, it looks, so if you look at it now though, Steve, all the curvatures are all
I
in
got
the
you.
road. So I mean,
That's
it
cool.
looks amazing.
One of the other things that we discussed, and it may not be the right time to bring it up, but we discussed having some sort of water maybe down in that area for people as a reflecting kind of place for people to reflect upon during their visit to the War Memorial. And there are all kinds of relatively inexpensive ways to create a water fountain or a water pool towards the back at the end of the first iteration of where the walkway is going.
At the end or in the middle or?
Wherever the geography lends itself to it.
Well, the only problem is power.
Oh, wait,
There's water there, but is there electric right there?
the electric is in the circle, but the electric comes all the way up the street, and there's a box halfway up the street. Yeah, so the electric comes from that main entrance, and then it runs in conduit all the way up along the way, and then it goes all the way to the circle.
There are water fountains that are really inexpensive, $1,500, that are nice, huge, large, prefabbed water fountains. Then the labor, of course, is separate with hooking it up and the electrical and the plumbing. But there's some very sharp-looking waterfalls that I've seen that you could just use in a place that's probably 3 feet wide, 4 feet wide, where people could just stand around and reflect on their visits.
In Chicago, when I went to Chicago, they just have like I guess they would be granite slabs, and then the water just falls over the front of it.
That would be nice too.
And then it has little pebbles at the bottom.
You could actually have a local contractor just put in a little pool, you know,
Yeah.
and then have a granite wall,
Yeah.
and then have the water just come right over it, which would be nice, a reflection
Yeah,
pool.
that's gotta take some thinking about the design.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Talk to Warren about that.
yeah.
Yeah,
I have
and
some ideas.
the only concern I'd have is at the end. So if you have what is to be the peaceful reflection area, you're 10 feet from the roadway.
Yeah,
And you have a noisy
right.
Route 39.
Well, I don't know if we want to put it there. We could put it in the corner, because originally that cemetery was designed for that corner to have like a cremation wall or something in that corner kind of, which we never did, like a niche wall.
that corner, you're talking about the word
So
setback of
it,
it,
so
yeah,
it goes
yeah.
to the point, and it has a circular thing that comes around. I mean, you almost could do something like that there and put some benches on the other side of the walkway so they could sit.
And reflect.
Yeah,
And reflect, yeah.
it'd be really nice.
No, we did.
Better get
briefly-
up there and sell. I have 2 people transfer their lots from other cemeteries to the cemetery this
Oh, we're
week.
gonna need some corporate sponsors for this if it keeps going the way it is. Yeah.
The reflection pool brought to you by Taco Bell.
Well, I think once we get the 3D rendering, we could then make a brochure, and we could hit all the veterans.
Now, I can pro forma a reflection pool in there, or we can do it afterwards. Just as however you want to go with it.
Yeah,
Probably after.
we need it, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, why go through all that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I love the idea, I just.
Yeah, we just don't have
Because we
that.
started the meeting, Bill, before we started discussing what you and I were talking about,
Right.
the terminus,
Yep.
you know, and how different ways to do that, because we really hadn't gotten that far. I
Yeah.
mean,
Right.
we're all still in shock at how much it's gonna cost to monument all the wars.
Yeah.
And
How
then we
many
have to,
how many actual pillars will there be?
well,
Well,
you've
there's-
got Revolution, 1812, Civil War.
I got about 8 or 9.
Where's the
of them.
list? You got the list?
Not on me,
The map? No?
no.
Is it just gonna be one
So some of them we might
wall
not,
per wall?
yeah, so, and I don't know if we'll
It's
do
to
it.
memorialize the people that died,
Right.
so there will be names.
I mean,
Is this
We're
last week?
hoping to put the names actually on those monuments.
yeah, I would like to.
Right.
So I did talk to Bill Galvin. I have my list. I'm like at the very end of my alphabet right now. So I just have to finish those up, and then we'll post those in the newspaper. And I'm gonna also see if the Cape Cod Times will do it without cost.
Right.
And then people can look at it and then tell us if we, hopefully, it's the Eldridge with an E, Eldridge with an I, Chase with an
That would
S,
be a good
Chase
corporate
with a C.
sponsor, would be one of the banks, Cape Cod 5, Cape Cod Cooperative.
Blue monument.
Well, and see, and that's why I'm so in favor of this, in that this can be shown at town meeting.
Right.
It can be online at our, well, we don't really have a
We can-
website, we
we
have a
can do
Facebook page, but
We can do the pitch on the website as well, or the
We have
Facebook page.
we have a evergreenharwich.org.
yeah, but it's not, we don't have a Harwich Veterans Memorial website, which is,
So I have to update that page too, because I have updated the whole list with their birthday, like the original list you put
We
up.
could create a Harwich Memorial website as a subdomain off of the Evergreen website.
oh, okay, yeah, just so, I'm sorry.
It's okay. I think that would be a better idea than trying to get all of the names on the monuments. It's gonna be,
Right. So it actually,
expensive.
Cindy, these 2 monuments that we're doing now are the most people we're gonna have in the wars. People didn't, even World War II and World War I. World War II maybe will be a kind of a bubble, but I think the rest of them are gonna be not as many names as you think.
yeah.
Were actually Harwich residents that went in when they enlisted.
Right.
Will the walls be similar to what I designed, or?
Yeah.
Okay, they're gonna look like that sloping edge.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we should just kind of wait and see. Hopefully we can.
Right.
And if we can't, we could just put the name of the wars on it, but
Right.
just kind of play that by ear.
And we did still want to do a Gold Star family, right?
Yeah, so, well, the way I thought we were going was on the right side of the walkway are the memorials.
Yeah.
And then the left side, corresponding to the timeline, would be additional donated tributes.
Right.
Such as, so the Gold Star that you bring up. Well,
Yeah.
the Gold Star families didn't begin until World War II, plus or minus, I don't know
Yeah.
the exact date. And it actually started with the Blue Star families in World War II, where they hung, like in my car, they have the red, white, and blue banner with a star.
Right.
And the number of blue stars is how many of your family members are serving. And you pray that that doesn't turn gold. So that's about the 40s.
Mm-hmm.
So adjacent to the World War II monument would be your Gold Star Memorial.
Right.
And then the Merchant Marine, that was World War I to II,
Yeah.
and the Liberty ships were World War II. So that would be a nice place to put a dedication to the Merchant Marine Service, who always feel like they're, and have been, rightly so, just kind of left out of everything.
Yeah.
If somebody wanted to donate something to the Waves, Wax, and
Yeah.
WAFs, you know, that would go on the left. But the left side to me would be space for individual.
Right.
If somebody wants, if there's a group that wants to be recognized and it's appropriate, then
Yeah.
we could stick it there. But the right side has to be totally mapped out from Revolution to the Gulf War, or whatever how far we're going to go, and then we got to think of the next.
Section.
Pick a century. 1 century,
Right.
2 centuries, 3 centuries.
And will there be plaques or I don't think plaque is the right word, but some sort of paper inside of an enclosed area, or that describes where the people are? No,
No.
descriptions of.
So we
No educational.
no. So I have a intern from the high school that's going to come over and he's going to scan in all the documents for all of the
Right.
Revolutionary War. So I think if we could on this veterans sub site, if we could have more material on there that could have house some of that stuff.
It could be
Genealogical
downloaded from their
references.
phones too. We could have all of this stuff on the website. And as they go for a walk, they could download that as some sort of a walking educational tour.
Yeah, I mean, we could research what they did with the Vietnam Memorial,
Yeah.
because you can pull up who, and it'll tell you where on the memorial, because there are 55
Right.
plus or minus thousand.
With AI today, there are, and I'm not 100% down with AI yet, and it's still so new. But there's stuff that they're doing where you can type in anything that you want to type in, and it will search out images to support what the content of the page is. So you have a fully designed page by the time you get through typing in the description of what you're looking to do.
Kids don't even have to learn anymore.
I know.
Remember all the research and the encyclopedias we used to use?
Yeah.
Well,
You guys all set with that?
yeah,
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
if I'm not close enough for it to, hang on. Sometimes my watch will unlock it for you.
Rob, you,
Oh, you already yanked it out?
yeah.
As opposed to ejecting.
Yeah.
I do that kind of stuff from time to time.
Oh, I did you.
Ooh.
No moving parts. That's why I use an air. You've been through an airport.
I smashed my, the screen on my tablet last week, so that's why I'm without.
Yeah. How long is it gonna take you to do all this?
I think, depends upon when I can move it along. I would think
Well, I don't
3
think
to 4 weeks.
there's no rush.
3 to 4 weeks, and then, we wanna tweak it as we go.
Okay.
To make sure that we look at it in phases. But, the sooner the better in terms of having
Well, the
it.
goal would be May for town meeting.
Yeah, we could do
Yeah,
it.
I mean,
We could do it.
so just because of the amount, I think Steve should be involved in this too. This is, I mean, this
Yeah,
is big, so, but my inclination is that it's gonna be necessary, otherwise we're just gonna, all 4 tires are gonna go into the mud and we're just gonna go,
No,
and come to a stop. We have money,
Having the most tools that you can have in terms of presentation for sponsorship
right,
is really,
right,
it's important.
yeah, otherwise it'll take really our kids' lifetime to get,
right.
I'd be happy to also speak to somebody at Cape Cod 5 that I know.
please do.
Yeah, they may be inclined. I would think that they.
well, when we were bantering about corporate sponsorship, that was the first name that
Cape Cod 5, yeah.
Cape Cod 5.
Yeah, I think that.
They're very much into that.
They have such a footprint in the community.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
That I'd be happy to speak to the person that I know over there.
I know, what's her name, the former president, she would probably been big time behind it. I don't know the new president.
I know the co-presidents.
Right.
And I know one of the
Oh,
co-presidents.
nice.
And
Yep.
The name escapes you.
That's remember, we're live, we don't need to be
Yeah.
necessarily,
Right.
yeah.
right. Okay.
Okay,
All
all
right,
right.
thanks, Steve.
Thanks.
No,
Thanks, guys.
appreciate that work
Exciting.
right there, just to get us started.
Yeah, I mean, anything.
I mean, you and I could envision it
Right.
when we were talking, but
Absolutely.
we want to make sure everybody gets the,
Right, I just wanted to make sure that it was brought up again, because I thought it was a pretty good conversation that we had at the dedication.
oh, yeah.
of the memorial.
And I'm glad you brought up the water feature. That's
See
an
you guys.
interesting
Thank you, you
twist.
too.
Thank you. Take care,
Thanks,
Rob.
Steve.
Thank
Such
you.
a water,
Talk to you later.
Steve.
Oh, yeah, don't forget your water.
Stay hydrated.
Precious resources.
Merry Christmas.
See you later.
Certainly is.
Wow, it's exciting.
Yeah, I know.
Thanks, Steve.
Finally. It's like how long have we been working on this project, Cindy?
Well, I mean,
It's gonna go on and on.
But I mean, from conception, like this has been a long.
so look at it, the end game.
I know.
It has to last. It's going to outlive our grandkids because it's granite.
Yeah,
So it's got to be done right, and it has to be done with the future in mind, so that when we've all packed it in and said, yeah, we're done, that whoever else is sitting here goes, oh yeah, we need to keep this going.
yeah.
Okay, so that was nice of Steve to show up and to do that. We'll have to discuss that further with when we have the full house here. So the signs for Old Smith Cemetery.
So Tommy says he's doing them this week.
Oh, so these are the stone signs,
These are stone
right?
ones. So
Okay.
he wanted to know where they should go. So I put it back. I've made sure it was on the agenda. So can we go through them one by one? So that's Old Smith Cemetery. You guys went down. You saw that. That's one of the Eagle Scout projects.
Right.
So there is a fence around the memorials
Yes.
now. Do we want it inside or outside the fence?
If there's
This
space when you,
approach.
yeah, so if you
There
approach
is.
the fence,
Yeah.
is there a place to put it that can be, so if there was a big gap, I would say
Yes.
like 6 feet in, just a round number, so that as you approach the gap in the fence, there it is right there. Otherwise, we have to worry about it being whacked outside the fence by,
So people go there and they park. So it actually, so the fence is like this. The memorials are here and here. And then this is like a drive. This is all open, all the way out almost to the fence. Do we want to do it
Where do people park?
right here?
Back away.
Yeah, it's about 10 feet.
Then either here or
Inside.
protected inside.
This is a
Which one?
sign or a stone?
This is
It's well, you know the one we did for Hawk's Nest. That's
it's
just like
a stone.
So on the one on Hawk's Nest,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
right on the edge of the like this. This is exactly where it is. But that's high on a hill. No one's driving into that thing.
Yeah.
So as you approach walking into it, it's the first thing you see before you go into the cemetery. This is going to be
What is all this right here?
open.
Grass?
It's grass.
So the guys mow it.
Not really. It's kind of like a pine needle lot.
Okay.
I think they just weed whack it every now and then. It's not real grass. It's the whole area is pine trees. There's no other trees. Although we did plant a whole bunch of native plantings all through here and through this side. So now it's kind of warmer.
Yeah, it's too bad Jim isn't here, but
Yeah.
so if it was in the middle, if it was here, that might be in their way.
Right. So do you want to do it at the edge of this post so that people can see it as they drive in? So this is all Bell's Neck.
I'm thinking the other side.
This side?
That side.
Okay. You want to do it this side? Okay.
I
All
think
right.
so.
So this would be Old Smith. Okay. So then we have Harding Rider, which you know is near the water tower.
Yeah, so that one
is completely enclosed like this, and his stone is like right here.
Right.
I
but-
think it needs to go inside
Yeah.
the
We
square,
want it to be so
only
obvious.
because that's such a main drag.
Where's the road?
Road is right here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like
And is there any way, how would you access that? If there
there's
was
a
somebody.
side street right here.
Right, but isn't that somebody's property right there?
Well, this is somebody's house right here.
Well, actually, this is closer to this side
oh, you
street.
think it's closer to this one?
Yeah, if I remember when I was doing the research.
So do you want to do it here then?
Inside.
But inside, I
Inside?
think just to
How
protect it.
far back does it go beyond the
Not
monument?
not far. It's just like like a 10 by whatever.
Yeah.
It's small.
It would take me
I
forever
would
to
think,
pull it
like,
up.
if the stone, say like if this was the lot and the stone sits here, like maybe right here
Okay.
in the back, like
Yep.
in the middle of the back.
Like here.
It's a weird rectangle,
Yeah.
Yeah.
trapezoid shape, and
Kind of so it sits behind the stone, but not blocking the stone off to the side of it, I'd say.
So then the third one is the Lothrop. Lothrop.
Please.
Thank you.
going to learn this.
I thought he had it. Okay.
And now I can't drive by the road without thinking of this conversation.
Okay. So I don't think the tablet should be out on the main drag. I think it should be at the cemetery, which is all the way in the woods.
Right.
So that's the one that you access through the HCT trail.
Correct. And it's pretty far back.
Oh, I thought we were getting a sign with them.
We were still working on that. Yeah.
And what happened to that?
We just put it on hold because we're doing all these other projects, but we are going to get a sign there.
Well, but I didn't think we were doing a separate sign. I thought we were going to
Put it underneath.
tag it if they were going to let us.
Yeah.
I thought that was an
I
item
don't think
that
they.
we had talked about.
Yeah, I don't think they ever gave us a response from that. Maybe
can
I'll
we-
rewrite.
Yeah, maybe take a picture and go, is there any chance we can just,
Okay.
Yeah. Follow up on that.
and from that point, I say, as long as it's not, a mower issue.
So this one again is kind of like they do mow it occasionally. Has some kind of grass, not really. It's again like a pine needle lot. When we went in there, it had so much leaves. I mean, it took us forever to clear it. That again was that actually was through AmeriCorps. Did all that fencing over. Remember, I got poison ivy there. So
Possibly put a wooden sign or whatever right on the fence, a smaller one, if we're gonna,
well, we
One
already
up
paid.
front?
We already paid for this sign.
okay.
So So this sign,
Well, first we were gonna do a regular sign.
yeah,
Right,
and then we decided to
And then
do
we
this
said,
tablet
well,
ones.
Right.
nobody sees it or gets to it unless you drive,
Right,
do
you
the
gotta walk
conservation
into
trail.
And I really think these older ones with the tablet signs, they last forever. You
Yeah.
never have to do maintenance to them. I mean, they're like one and done. So I think it's
yeah. that's
kind of
nice.
all you gotta do is clean it occasionally. But so her stone is like right in the middle, like here, and then her child is here. And you walk up and it has an opening. The opening's probably like that. So I don't know. We could put it on the outside of the fence or on the inside of the fence.
Outside, I think.
Same.
As long as it's not going to.
On either side, whichever one, wherever it looks like it would
Yeah.
fit better, because I can't remember, there's a few trees there.
Right.
So,
Yeah, they don't mow in there anyway. So.
yeah, outside the fence, outside of fence, okay.
Somewhere I thought I
All
had
right,
a
so we have
picture.
all three, so I will meet with Tommy and show him those locations. So it's,
Yeah, outside for Lothrop, because you approach it and what is this I'm looking at?
yeah,
Outside for the first one and inside for the second because it's in
Harding,
such a
yeah, right,
dangerous
yeah.
spot.
yeah.
I don't know why the community thing is not working. Sorry, I had pictures and,
Yeah. I know, the network here has been terrible.
yeah. Okay, so that's settled. So the year-to-date revolving account,
Yes, so, spending money like water.
you're telling me that.
So our current balance is 38,679.82. If we take the walkway thing that we just asked Tom to do, that's 2329 plus the tablet stones, which was 4,865. The new available balance would be 31,485.82.
Oh, okay. And then we have the walkway,
Right,
and the walkway is,
40.
and that includes with them the extra material that they said they needed?
Oh, no, so that'll be, I think I'll get the new bill from you, from them.
And
I haven't
how
gotten
much-
it yet.
How much does the town owe us?
She's gonna get those numbers together. Megan was out and the other girl had a baby.
Oh, nice.
So,
So, all right,
so they're gonna be transferring all the funds that they didn't transfer into our PC account for the last, is it 3 years? It's a lot.
When are they doing that?
So I talked to Megan about doing that when I went in to talk to her about, when we did this procurement. So we've got to get that money transferred back in, to the account, which will go into the, interest account. We
Yeah.
still have the funds that are available in that account. I am doing a speaking thing over in coordination with some of the people at Pine Oaks, lot sale stuff. So hopefully I'm trying to do preemptive for them. It's very hard to sell lots to people when they die. So it's easier for me to go and do pre-planning stuff with them. And me and Julie are going to be having another pre-planning seminar here as well, in which I always sell a lot of lots of that as well.
how many times a year do you do that?
I just do it once a year, and we haven't done it for a while, and we didn't do it during COVID. So we did a smaller one the last time, but we haven't done a really big one recently.
And when do you do it? What time of year?
We usually do it in November, but so we didn't do it in November, so we're gonna do it in the spring. So we're like, not spring, but like March. So I can talk to Julie. She was trying to squeeze it in between all of her other programs. It's usually very well attended. We talk about everything from wills and probates to just getting all your affairs in order. So it's a great program for whether they're buying lots or not. It's just for them to know how to get all their stuff, so the kids don't have to do it. And it's very hard when you meet with 5 siblings, and they all have an opinion what they thought their parents wanted, when that's not what their parents wanted, because their parents should have told them. So I think it's nice to do it, and it's so we're doing we've already talked about it. So she's just putting it in on her schedule.
When will the Lynch bill be due?
They'll be finished. Hopefully, they'll finish Friday, and then they'll put together all their paperwork. I don't know when they'll have it ready for me.
And when will it be due?
In a month.
In a month from then. Yeah.
All right, so, yeah, January, we all have to be here.
Yeah.
Because,
We have a lot.
and we need the town to move the money,
Yeah.
because I just think it would be very bad form to go, well, we can only send you half.
No. Well, we can always take the money out of some of the money out of that investment fund.
Oh, I know,
PC.
yeah, right,
So I mean, we have the money. It's just we don't want to use that money unless it's an emergency.
right.
So
But I think to move that needs to be an all hands on.
Right.
We're all in agreement, we're gonna move 15,000 out,
yeah,
and then this is going to be 0,
yeah.
which,
Yeah, make sure we have enough money to pay
that's
the bills.
Right.
no bueno. As my son-in-law says.
Yeah.
No bueno.
So we'll go over all of the funds in that as well when we get to that point.
And that's the other reason I was
Right.
trying to politely postpone that.
Yep.
Okay.
And
So rules and, what? Rules and regulations?
now, because we haven't done anything, I just kept it on there.
Sorry.
I haven't
PTSD for.
I haven't had time to write letters or do anything. I have spoken to a lot of people, and I've handed them a letter and told them about it, but I haven't mailed anything. I just want to let you know that I haven't stopped thinking about it. I just put it there.
But the letter is set
This letter is set now.
with Cindy's changes that we
Yep.
voted on.
Yep.
So it's all ready to go. So,
I did hand it to somebody.
So it's now a tool to be
Yep.
used, and it's
Yeah, I just have to find the
up to
time.
you
I
how
mean,
you want to enforce it.
Right.
But
Well, did we decide to do like a whole cemetery at once?
Well,
Instead of sending out
yeah,
random
we'd have
letters?
to do.
well,
We'd
I
have
think
to do.
everything needs to go through Robin.
Yeah, we
so
did.
that you don't go,
Right.
oh, here, you got this, and then I do the same thing, and
Yeah.
and she's so busy that we get.
So I
this
do
family
think
gets
we have to
hammered.
do. So say we did. It would be difficult to do all of Island Pond at once, but we could do a whole like half.
A section.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
At least,
So
yeah.
all the neighbors in that one section get it.
That, yeah.
And that, or I mean, Evergreen isn't as bad.
Yeah.
In some of the other cemeteries, we could do it all at once. I mean,
Right,
there's probably
right. No, I
3
get
in
it.
North Harwich. There's probably, you know what I mean? There's,
I was gonna say, are there that many that are
Yeah.
out
Yes.
of reg?
there are.
Well, I guess I don't.
And
when I
you
drive
know, and I
around, don't
usually
pay that
try to
much
catch them when they're doing it, so I'll pull in and I'll say,
Right.
you know, I'm just want to let you know. And I always keep the rules in my car now, so I hand them right to them.
Good
Here's a copy of our rules and regulations, and then I say, this is where you can't do this.
Can we think about like well, I guess there's not that many pages, but an abbreviated. So you have the
Do's
letter.
and
So you have a
don'ts.
letter.
Do's and don'ts.
You have the pages from the rules, or
Yeah.
or maybe just extract the paragraphs with a page reference.
It's always the same section that I'm always saying, this is what you can't do.
Well, I mean, I wonder if that should be printed on the back of the letter. So
Okay.
when it goes out, it's,
Yeah.
I don't know,
Well,
it's
I
like,
think if they have any questions, they can call Robin.
Yeah.
If they go,
yeah.
what am I doing wrong? Well,
Well, it
Yeah,
says
look
in the
at the-
letter, because
right.
it says, this is what you're in.
right,
The
right. I
infraction.
know.
Violate, yeah.
And in your reference, we referenced the rules and regulations to, be sure and check those. But I think maybe it might be a good idea before we actually start doing this to put something in the Oracle.
Oh, I was just thinking the same thought.
Yeah,
That's spooky.
that
Yeah.
we're on the same wavelength
Yeah,
here.
yeah,
Yeah, we
Oracle
could-
Chronicle, whatever, yeah,
So,
just
and
to
I could
say,
also go to the Board of Selectmen saying, now that we passed the rules and regulations at blah, 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 town meeting, we're going to start enforcing them. We have a letter that we'll be sending out to the people who are in violation of,
Right.
yesterday I saw one of the Hadises at a funeral we had for another person, and she said, oh, I was thinking about edging out around the monuments and putting in stones. I said, you can't do stones. Right. So she was like, oh, I didn't know that. So I said, oh, we have new rules and regulations. They're on the website, but she goes, because sometimes, when the rain comes down, it gets a little, wet. They're at the bottom of the hill there, where the little mausoleum is in Island Pond. Mm-hmm. But they built that beautiful wall. She goes, we wanted to know if we could build another wall. I'm like, I think there's people on the other side of you. But
yeah. Well, I think probably we should put it on the television station too.
Yeah.
Also,
maybe you want to come in and do a segment, Cindy.
Yes, you're very photogenic. The two of you are both photogenic.
You're much better than I am.
Oh gosh, no! I will say something so inappropriate.
But anyway, I think we
It'll
should
solve my problem.
You can just do a one. You can just do a one little sentence, and then you can show pictures. We would blot out the stones and say, "This is why," and this stuff blows into conservation, and then
and can I maybe tone it down from?
Yeah.
We are now enforcing.
Yeah.
To we are.
Educating.
After years of mulling this over, that we are standardizing the cemeteries with special considerations for adjacent neighbors within a cemetery and the safety of our maintenance team, cemetery management team, whatever we call Jim and Pete. You know what I mean? So it's not like we're coming after you.
Right.
We're just
Because we do get complaints from the neighbors. Some people.
Oh, big time! That was one of the first things I was surprised to hear from you when I joined this.
Yeah. That's not allowed, and they still keep doing it. And I told them I couldn't do it, and they keep putting more stuff, and it gets crazy.
But I think if we do a Channel 18 or whatever it's called now thing, we should tell the history.
Yeah.
For years it's been almost free reign, even though there were rules. Well, your cemetery commission, the commissioners have exhaustively reviewed the rules, voted on amendments to the rules, and it's time to implement those rules for the consideration of adjacent plot owners, and but more importantly for the safety of our cemetery staff. Well, yeah, but staff infers us. Whatever we call Pete and Jim. The cemetery.
Grounds crew?
No, they were the cemetery maintenance.
Maintenance man.
I thought we had a phrase for them somewhere.
I think they're the ground
maintenance team or cemetery grounds crew, whatever you want to call them, doesn't matter. But the point is it's more about them than the fact that you want to.
I know it is a lot of work.
Flowers.
It's a lot of work for them when they're doing leaf removal and this stuff.
Oh, and the conservation.
Yeah, and conservation. Right. I know Amy has, people put the
things for berries and stuff.
Yeah, and not only that, they put that cellophane wrap around they'll bring down little potted plants, and then the cellophane wrap is blowing around the cemetery. They'll leave. Yeah, it's. Yeah.
Now the only thing is. I never ever watched that channel, ever. So I don't know how many people we're going to hit.
People do watch that channel.
But are people off Cape going to watch the channel? People that show up and
I think they get a lot of views because it goes on YouTube, and you don't have to watch the channel. You can then watch the YouTube that she did for it. So, I think people watch it.
Well, every means possible to get the word out that.
Okay.
New sheriff in town. Okay, CPC article update?
Well, we already gave the really.
Okay. Yeah. Signs for cemeteries, J&J signs?
So J&J signs did give us a quote, but I don't think we can move on this right now because we are extended.
We're in the red.
Yeah.
So this was the synthetic version of the signs.
Yeah.
And this is an updated repaint. So this is...
So he did two different.
Isn't this the person that was going to?
Yeah, he was supposed to give us
new signs.
Yeah, he was supposed to give us.
This is refurbishing.
He's refurbishing it.
Yeah, these are sanded and. Yeah, I think I think we have to deal with the walkway first.
Yep,
And then as the bottom line of the budget
increases.
in the box
Yeah.
allows,
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, I teach our kids to have a 3 to 6 month emergency fund.
yep,
And I don't think we have that. Well, we do, but it's
Yeah.
really supposed to be used for preservation.
yep.
So thank him profusely and just tell him we're having,
Yep,
I mean, just let him know. And I still think any future signs, we do want to consider
somebody else.
the PVC.
PVC.
This is the PVC guy,
yeah,
you know?
Yeah, as far as those signs that we have now, let them be.
okay.
Yeah.
We'll see if we can get the guys to clean them up. You know, I have to say Pete is very receptive. He has come in and got, because right now they're cleaning up all the leaves, but they usually have dead spots in a
Right.
couple days.
Yeah.
Like it was pouring the other day, so he came into my office and said, pouring. So can you give me all the veterans markers the new ones? Because I just remember we ordered all those markers for, we needed some more World War II. So the ones that were broken out in the field, he swapped those out. And then he took them to the office and he did that.
Oh, nice.
John told him to do, yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. So he went, you know, he goes, on rainy days, I can do all this stuff. So he brought them back to the shop. He said he was going to secure them and then he was going to swap them out later in the day or whatever. But we're talking.
I mean, I still think we should clean and wax what we have up
Right.
there,
Yeah.
just to not force the issue.
So I
that
think
we
they
need
could
to-
take it, they come off.
Yeah.
They could take them off, bring them back to the shop on a cold or a terrible day.
Right.
And clean them,
Good.
wax them, and then put them back.
And just see how that looks.
Yeah.
I mean, like the green, after getting cleaned and waxed,
Yeah.
that may bring the color back.
Right.
Yeah,
I think so.
And if we get a couple more years before we switch,
yeah.
and then hopefully they're still in business and any replacement signs, we should at least try one PVC sign
Yeah.
and see
What
how
it
to
looks
come
like.
out, how does it test against the others for future commissioner generations.
Yeah, the guys, right now, they can't do any leaf removal or cleanups or anything because they've got the sanders in.
Oh. Well, Jim still has the
Oh, yeah,
blowers.
they're ready for winter.
I mean, I just talked to Jim this morning.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
They put the Sanders on?
They're on.
So he still has been blowing though. When we have funerals, I see him, he has a backpack blower. He's still,
Cleans
if
it up.
stuff,
Right.
if stuff is there and he can do it to a little section, he does. Yeah, so we'll just have to wait on that. So do you guys have any other old business, Cindy?
You were taking notes like you had something.
I was just gonna say that I would try to draft something on that for somebody to read for the channel here.
Okay, perfect. Nice.
Oh, I do have something. I don't know if it's new or old, but anyway.
See, I saw you write that down as soon as you sat
Yeah.
down. I went,
Oh, no. Right. I was asked why there are still stones in East Harwich that haven't been refurbished.
stones
East
in
Harwich.
East,
In the
that
East Harwich Cemetery.
cleaned or?
Yeah, the ones that we have restored and everything.
Yeah.
And I said, well, are these?
They were not all,
Since, I said, these must be damaged since they were done.
yeah,
Because I said, I know Robin went through and,
yeah.
you know.
We
listed
indexed them all.
everything.
Yep.
Okay.
So they might be newer ones. Why some of them crack or break?
I
Or they
don't
just
remember
need to be
exactly. They
cleaned.
just said, how come they weren't fixed?
Oh, you know
And I
what?
said, if-
They weren't all cleaned.
No, they weren't all clean.
Yeah.
You know, I explained that to him.
Yeah.
I believe these were damaged in some way.
I'll have to go by.
But I
and
said,
look.
it's gotta be, it must be since
Yeah.
they were done.
And it can happen, you know. They're moving in there with equipment and stuff like that and doing everything and disturbing the ground or whatever, and might not have happened that day, but since then, you know, a couple storms after later, and
Well, that's what I told him, so I just wanna be sure.
but I'll go down there and check it though. Thank you,
No,
Cindy.
don't worry about that.
And what about the connecting
It's not
roadway?
even enough.
The sign for the connecting roadway?
I didn't have a chance to do that. Sign. This is
know,
why
at,
the minutes are
at
so
Evergreen?
important. Connecting roadway.
And then,
Because the guys can make that.
yeah, well, that's
Yeah,
right, yeah.
yeah.
We do that locally.
So we need notes for October, November,
Yeah.
and now December.
And now December. But I thought we were using this.
We were, but I've been literally out straight. I have not had a second.
No, but I mean, it should not be a complicated procedure. You just need to embellish occasionally here and there.
I'll see what I can do on that.
I was find a grave hunting in Island Pond, and there are a lot of stones that are lichened over.
Yeah.
So
we do it. We're out of the solution. We had so many people cleaning. I mean, they cleaned all of the Kelly Cemetery. They did all of the smaller cemeteries. They're all done. So now they were going to move on this spring.
Yeah. So even though I'm not a new guy anymore, I still wonder why we just, because I just cleaned PVC at my house. Why we don't have something that we just go, it sits for 5 minutes and we go, whoosh, and pour water on it, it rinses off and we're good to go. I mean, I cleaned my whole house.
You gotta scrape it a little bit.
Well, yeah, the lichen gets buried and stuff, but it seemed like we had a class on it, and I'm like, does it have to be that involved? I mean, we don't.
You don't want them damaging the stones. So we have like.
I put this stuff on PVC that I got at Home Depot, and it didn't do anything. It killed the lichen, rinsed completely off, took all the algae off.
Yeah.
And the only place was on my mailbox post where the lichen had dug into PVC. I had to scrape it all off, but now it looks brand new. But lichen shouldn't be inside the stone.
So there's like 4 different types of lichen. There's some lichen that's black that actually kind of permeates the stone.
This is all the green stuff, so you couldn't even read what the letters were. But
So we have had people going in there and clean those periodically. So there are a lot of stones in there that need to be cleaned. That's for sure. But we don't have. We're down to I have 1 spray bottle left.
Why don't we plan to do that in the spring? Maybe see if anybody's interested and have a class to how to do it properly, and do every so often.
The 2 cemeteries that need to get done now. We do have a couple people that were cleaning in Evergreen in the old section. I don't know if you've seen the stones up there. That's Debbie. Do you know Debbie?
Debbie Merrigan?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And she has a friend now helping her as well.
Yeah.
So there's 2 of those people. And then.
Why is this not a maintenance function?
I don't know that they would have time to do it.
Well, they go back to Link as soon as we stop cutting grass.
And then they start doing leaves.
And then they do leaves.
Yeah.
But leaves are almost done, except like last night where they blew in from Rhode Island, I'm not trying to create work for them. I'm just wondering why it's not a function of.
Well, you need water to clean them, and the water's off. So you really don't clean in the winter.
Well, so there you go. So that's a good reason. Yeah. And then as soon as we start growing grass, they're overloaded with acreage. Okay. Right. Well, no, that answers the question.
I mean, they are doing stuff like they're checking all the veteran stones. I really like them to go to a class where they can learn how to straighten out stones, because a lot of other maintenance departments do. So say you see one that's slightly tipped, they'll get together and they can
pry it, support it, fix the foundation.
Yeah.
So Island Pond would not be cleaned every year.
You would
clean a.
Yeah, you clean them and it'll last for like years and years.
Well, that's kind of what I'm saying. Yeah. I mean, how many cemeteries do we have, and why we just don't have a schedule of we start here. This is cleaned in 2025. This one's cleaned in 2026, or we have a campaign to zero it all out, and then every cemetery gets a year. And what do we have, 8 cemeteries? Not including the little mini, tiny remote ones?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm brainstorming here because I was so frustrated trying to find this one stone that it said was right here, that Steve said was right here by the video, and it wasn't there. or I couldn't.
Did you find it?
No.
What is it? Was it?
No, I don't know. It's not to dig through my phone. And then I found one, and somebody had already claimed it and done it. I'm like, oh my gosh.
So usually
It's
you
an hour
could
of my
just, so some guy just gives me a list. And then what I do is I give him the address, street address, and I give him the map.
Oh, well, I mean, I found it on
Yeah.
the Island Pond, our website.
Yeah.
But it took me right there.
Yeah.
But I'm like, no, it's not.
When we toured the veterans, for the new veterans, sometimes there is nothing there. It's like
They don't
an empty space between, on a lot.
Yeah,
It's
they
like,
don't have a marker
that's where
yet.
they should be, but they're not marked yet.
Well, see, now that I think should become an item
Yeah.
because, and
So-
I only say
so
that
me and
because
Shawnee
there were
work together.
Revolutionary War.
So me and
things like-
Shawnee do that. If we cannot find a family member, we make sure we get them a
Especially if it's military, we can get the
Free stuff.
VA to
Yeah.
fork it over.
Well, let's put this on the agenda again to either do a spring seminar maybe on cleaning and see if we
And
can get any
then set up a
volunteers to help.
set up a schedule.
And I would like to have the boys here to help out with that decision.
Ask
The
them if
the
they would have
boys.
time for that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I don't want to pile on, but if there's time, like Pete
Yeah.
just demonstrated, he's got
Yeah.
some time to go do stuff. But you're right, if it takes a hose
Yeah.
or water, because I don't know how I could find something to put in my truck, but
Well, didn't we have the pumps? And one
We have-
person was kind of watching,
Yeah.
doing the water and keeping it wet while the other one was scraping and
Right.
cleaning
Right.
and stuff.
and is that the
So it's usually-
only chemical that can be used?
You can use other chemicals, but this is the one that literally every single person who does any gravestone conservation or restoration.
Well, I watched some guy on YouTube, and it was like,
Yeah.
and then he talked for a second, then he goes, and then he takes his hose and goes, so anyway, the next thing you know, it looks like a brand new stone. I'm like, well, how hard can this be? Unless it's
Well,
a
it
chemical.
wasn't a bad stone then.
Well, I'm wondering, is it a chemical that Amy said, no, you can't do that here?
So
you know?
D2 is approved by the Veterans Association who do all the military cemeteries, and it's been approved by all of the boards for every state in New England to use within like Mount Auburn and all the places that are, that are really horticulture. They have their own horticulture departments. They allow this only product to clean stone. So I wouldn't want to try another product for fear it would burn the grass and do something to
Yeah.
the.
Okay, so does it take pressure washing at all to remove?
You should never pressure
Right,
wash.
I agree. So it goes on, gets maybe agitated, brushed, and then rinsed off.
No, you shouldn't rinse it off.
Well, how do you get the stuff that you've scraped off the
You
stuff?
first
what do you need water
wet
for?
it. You wet it.
Yeah.
You scrape it. Well, you want to wet because when you scrape it, all the mold spores will go in your nose. The reason you want to keep it as wet as
Right.
possible is for your health, not really. I mean,
Well,
it
what
helps.
does this D2 do?
D2 goes in and permeates the stone and almost kind of like bleaches it, but with the sun. The sun, you want to leave the product on the stone. As the product, some cemeteries just go in and spray and they don't scrape anything. They just spray everything. And they'll go back.
And the lichen will fall off on
They
its own?
eventually will fall off. But it's better and quicker if you scrape it. And I use like old Dunkin' Donuts cards or anything to.
So then why can't we have a bin full of those pump garden sprayers
Yep.
that are dedicated to a D2 solution,
Mm-hmm.
however you make that, from concentrate, I assume, and a brush or a safe scraper, and
So
if you're
it's-
going to go do it, you pick up the bin and you walk outside and you make it here, or you make it in your house.
The best time to do it is yesterday it poured, right? So if you wanted to, like in the summertime, sometimes if the day before it pours and I have time, I go out right after that and I scrape as many stones as I want and just spray them. So that you just scrape, wet them one more time, spray them, and you walk away. So that's the quickest way to do it. Some people like to have them totally clean though. They'll like go into every nook and cranny and they spend their,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. Just because I'm OCD, it's.
Yeah.
It's really CDO.
Yeah.
Okay, well, anyway, so we should address that sometime.
Yes.
Having the assets available that, maybe like, does it have to be a class? Can it be you watch a little Robin video and
We actually have a
answer
video
a
somewhere.
10-second
We had a
quiz and-
video that was done by Jonathan Appel. I'll have to dig it out.
see
So
if you would have a video and you certify them by they take a quiz that's 10 questions that's all what not to do,
Yeah,
and they pass that.
yeah.
Stop by. Oh yeah, let me get that set for you. I got a closet back here. Here's the pump sprayer. Here's the recommended
Well, I
soft
do
brush.
have
And this is.
I
go
do
to it.
have like 6 or 7 people who come and get product from me, who go and do it. So they've had classes with us. We went out and we trained them, and then I do give them, every now and then they'll say, well, can I have one more of those brushes, or do you have a scraper for me? But they'll go and they'll clean them. They'll do whole rows. So which is kind of nice. They're all volunteers. That wouldn't,
Well, I'd like to address doing that sometime, and then a maintenance schedule so that each cemetery is on a rotation.
It's a good idea.
Because there's no reason to have. You can't see who they are for. Anyway, okay, moving on. Any other old business?
About months ago, we had Davy Tree come and do a kind of a consulting report on all of our older mature trees in the Arboretum. So I'm just going to show it. These are, and what I kind of want to do is work with Russ Norton. There are grants that we could get for some of the older trees for them to do priority maintenance on. So they did all of these topographical maps for us. Told us which ones that need to have stuff addressed. They did a pretty good job on all this mapping system. I wish I had this mapping system. Anyway, then it lists each one of the trees.
Just go to page 14. No, I'm not cutting off your presentation.
I know.
I'm just going to page 14 and going, oh my gosh.
So anyways, this is something that I would probably try to do through with Russ Norton at the Cape Cod Cooperative Extension and see if we could get a grant to maintain the trees. So I wanted him to give us an analysis on which trees would need, especially the mature trees, and there are foundations who give funding for this. So I wanted them to do a deep analysis on everything they need to do. But these trees need deep root injection fertilizer with organics. It's $28,000, which we don't have. So, but they need them. And we want these trees. We have 2 American elms in there. We have another American elm down at the other cemetery, Bank Street Cemetery. So we only have 3 American elms.
So
The really mature ones, and most of them died off from Dutch elm disease. So those trees, you kind of want to make sure they don't die.
So dead, I know a guy. He works for us. So dead can come off the list.
Oh, the dead ones, yeah. So
Poor should be on a tree by tree
right
decision. Is it something the Arboretum needs?
So we probably already they came here, and then we had that tree company come in 3 or 4 times after that. Some of these trees might already be gone. So some of the trees we want to look at to figure out where it's.
But
where
this
they're
giant, the fertilization.
So that's what Mount Auburn does to their trees. They have this thing where they do put stuff back into the soil. With our soil here, we're growing trees on our soil that probably some of them shouldn't be growing here because we're all sand. So in the Arboretum, there are trees that people planted here that are very mature trees now that they brought from other places. We have a lot of Norway trees in this Arboretum, whether they're Norway spruces or Norway maples, or, you know what I mean? They're not, this is not really their regular environment. So I get it. I didn't, obviously we don't have the money for this. That's why I'm working with the grant writer in Barnstable.
Yeah, if it can be granted.
Yeah.
And then the other question I have about this is because, like you say, we have sandy soil.
Yeah.
So if we spend $28,000 to fertilize a tree, is it the same as fertilizing a tree in loam at Mount Auburn?
Right.
In other words, is it just not going to end up in the aquifer?
Right.
And is Amy okay with it being in the aquifer?
I'm actually gonna show this to Russ, have him take a look at it, because he is the expert. Russ Norton, he's the horticultural specialist for the Cape Cod Cooperative Extension for the whole Cape and Islands. That's what he does, and he did the original soil testing for the Arboretum. He tested every single area within the Arboretum. He did core samples and told us what trees we should be planting here, what trees we should plant there, what trees we should not be planting. So I want him to really take a deep dive into this report and tell me.
Oh, I'd be very interested to hear his view.
Yeah, and then from there, see what he thinks about getting some type of funding for that. So I just wanted to let you guys know.
Did this cost us anything?
No.
That's pretty nice of them to do it.
Same
Yeah.
thought.
That much? What?
I had the same thought.
Well, most everybody's
How
like,
much you pay for this?
to tell you anything, is what they want.
So Davy Tree is a huge company. I mean, they have hundreds and hundreds of employees. They are part of the New England Cemetery Association, and I do know that Carter did this report. Doak is the guy who's really, I don't know if he's the CFO or whatever he is, but he's fabulous, and he gives talks all the time on different trees and stresses of different trees and what could happen to trees. I mean, he did a thing after we had tornadoes down here, but some of the other cemeteries off Cape had some severe storms themselves and lost a lot of trees. And the trees that survived that, you know what I mean, are still damaged, and you don't realize they're damaged till it's too late from all the bending and from the storms and stuff. But so they did this report just to let us know, because they heard I had an arboretum. They said, we'd love to go down.
And maybe it could be attacked from we need to save this one.
Yeah.
And hopefully this one will recover.
Right. And we did find an American beech tree. We thought we lost all of our American beech trees. And when they came up, it's on Creamery Ave Circle on the way back, and it's huge. They had trees fall all over it. When he came out, Carter, he was with another one of the guys that works for them. They limbed up one whole section that had damage to it, so that they would go. But he checked it for every possible disease. He's like, this tree is in phenomenal shape. It's probably 70 feet tall. You can't lose this tree, because if to get another tree this mature and this, even though it took a hit on one side, it's a great tree to have. But it's our only one in there. You know, it's so all the other ones died. They were in the middle of the old section. Oh, yeah. So they were taken out by the tornado, which was kind of sad. It was a sad day.
But sure was. Totally out of everybody's control. Yeah. Stuff happens.
Yes. So we have.
Okay, so is that it for old business?
Yes.
All right. So no bills.
0 bills.
Bunch of deeds.
This is a deed exchange into Evergreen. Deed exchange into Evergreen. And Cindy, you weren't here. Oh no, Cindy, you were here. Oh, Steve still has to sign this one. I have to catch up with Steve.
You have a blue pen? You have a blue pen. Yeah, I'm sure Steve will be better next month.
It's going to be a rough month for him.
Yep.
And I'm sure the kids.
Thank you. Not that one? Oh, that's Steve.
No, that one. We just have to have Steve sign that one.
All right, so that's deeds. We're not visiting any cemeteries today because we don't have the Connormobile.
The Connormobile.
Okay, so
And-
next meeting should be
Isn't
January.
is it the second?
No, second, I can tell you right now.
Yeah, we cannot.
I've got 2 doctor's
Yeah,
appointments
yeah,
that
no,
day.
we're not,
Morning
yes.
and afternoon.
What's the,
So that's the Thursday, the 2nd.
let's
So
do
that-
the next week.
So that would be Thursday, the 9th, I guess. Is that right?
I don't have,
Why don't I
didn't
not
bring my
have
phone.
the view here? Oh, here we go. So it would be Thursday, January 9th.
okay.
And that's gonna be a big one. We should
Yeah.
have the boys here.
Okay,
Hopefully a full house
Okay.
of Cindy, Steve, and I.
Yep.
Because we've got a lot of money issues.
Yep.
And we really need the town to get on the ball transferring money so we know where we stand.
okay.
I
I'm trying to
I
get
don't
the
even know what the
balances.
logistics are of taking money out and then sticking it back in.
Yeah, I know we
I'm
took
just
it-
money-wise, I'm just getting a little nervous. that's all.
we took it out before, when we did the expansion to Evergreen, we paid for it out of the, perpetual care account. We did all the
But do we
paving.
then put it back in?
No.
No.
No, we just keep putting, so you only can expend the interest, you can't
Right.
expend the principal. So the interest is what we did for that expansion project. So we paved the road, we cleared the land, and we did,
But this is gonna cut the usable perpetual care in half,
right,
ballpark.
yeah,
Well, it's a long time to build that back up again.
right.
Well,
Well, this is a big
actually
project.
now,
Yeah,
what did I say we were making?
we did
10?
pretty good. Do you wanna see the book?
It would take, oh, maybe it's only a year to get it back.
Yeah,
But that's a year sitting on your hands.
yeah.
I've got a couple family members that need to buy a lot. We talked about that last week. Okay, guys, before you go back home. swing
All right,
by.
I need a motion to adjourn.
Okay, I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second,
And what time is it, Cindy?
it is 10:34.
10:34, Rob, second. Okay, someone needs to push the button.
We're off to New Hampshire again.
Oh.